Hello, my name is Olga. Thank you for the opportunity to listen to my podcast on everyday life, things to watch out for. What I now see as abuse was previously viewed through my naive eyes as normal, everyday routine behavior, occurrences in my daily life, which are examples of my ex-husband's obsessive control, include the following. Our family never was allowed in all of the rooms of our large house, with the exception of my ex-husband, a house which I paid for but couldn't live in. Our family never was allowed to turn on the heat before November 1st or turn on the air conditioner before June the 1st, regardless of the outside temperature. Our family never was allowed to have friends over, with the exception of my ex-husband's relatives. Our family never was allowed to phone friends. And if we did, loud yelling and screaming occurred in the background until we ended the call. Our family never was allowed to disagree with my ex-husband, even on such trivial details as the color of the news anchorman's shirt. Our family never was allowed to do the laundry, with the exception of me, under my ex-husband's strict supervision and subjected to his insulting remarks regarding all of my perceived inadequacies. A prisoner in the laundry room, unable to leave until the laundry was completed. Our family never was allowed to sleep in beds, but rather on couches or on blankets on the floor in the basement or in the first floor family room. Our family never was allowed to enter the house after school in the wintertime until my ex-husband granted us permission, many hours afterwards. Rather, he would force the children to sleep in their snowsuits, in the van, in the garage, during the time that he was cleaning the house. Our family never was allowed to enter the house after soccer in the spring, summer, and autumn until my ex-husband granted us permission, many hours later. And so the children would wait in the garage for hours for him to wipe them down with wipes rather than allowing them to take showers or baths. Our family never was allowed to use the bathroom showers, sinks, hot tub, and sauna, but rather we used the recreation center facilities and one designated basement bathroom toilet in the house. Our family never was allowed to let hand towels hang naturally, but rather they needed to hang to exacting specifications. Our family never was allowed to arrange our pantry food randomly, but rather needed to have the English side of the can facing out. Our family never was allowed to cook in either of our two kitchens, but rather ate in restaurants or ordered out food to be eaten on our deck. My children later stated that whenever I prepare food for them, they feel loved. Outside of eating, our family never was allowed to be together, as I was kept in the first floor family room while my children were kept in the basement. So we were separated on a daily basis. And when I tried to visit them, my ex-husband would yell and scream at me and chase me up the stairs. I was never allowed to drive either of our first two vehicles, which I paid for. Only when I purchased a third vehicle some 15 years later and begrudgingly put my ex-husband's name on the ownership did he permit me to drive it. Finally, our family never was allowed to clean their own spills and accidents, which were treated as big issues. Rather, my ex-husband would yell, scream, and cause a scene, and clean the house from top to bottom, banishing us from the rooms and cursing us. Anytime we did anything to deviate from these above noted rules and defied my ex-husband's command, he would yell, scream, and cause a scene so that we would give up trying. Because my ex-husband separated me from the children when we weren't eating, I was unaware of the abuse he perpetrated upon them until years after the separation. It took that long for my children to open up to me.